Good morning. You may be wondering where I've been. It's been a long time since I put a video up on this channel. Well, not that long, I guess. It was about a week before Christmas the last time I put one up, and I was used to doing 2 to 3 videos a day, or not a day, per week on here at Practical Carnivore. And I had, in October or November, I started getting I think it might be bronchitis. I'm not sure. It's whatever it is that's been going around, at least at that time. Very similar to a cold where you would get it and then just languish for weeks and weeks. You would get better to a point and then it wouldn't go away. I am still dealing with the after effects of that now here in late January, to give you an idea of the thing. I figured out what had happened to me. If you've been watching this channel for a long time, you know that I started having problems doing carnivore. They were very real problems too. And for whatever reason, I couldn't lose weight. I would start gaining weight, and it was a mystery. I would start getting sick all the time. I mean, 2023, I got sick many, many times. So that bronchitis or whatever it was at the end, I wasn't that surprised by. It just was another thing. But I started really thinking back on what it was that started this. And I had to go all the way back to October 2022. Took a day trip with my wife and kids, into the city. Took them to my son, who had just turned 4 at the time. We took him on a train ride. They have a little goofy train ride thing up there, and we took him on that. And then we went and did what anybody who's doing keto and carnivore would do. We went for a low carb option, which was a local barbecue place. And because if you've watched my videos for a long time, you know that I warn people about barbecue restaurants because the barbecue rubs will often have sugar in them. So I instead ordered, I think they were plain wings, or if they had a sauce, it was like just a normal buffalo sauce, right? But I'm not sure. It's been 18 months or something since this happened, but I do remember the wings. And I ate them and they tasted fine. They were fully cooked, and I later got my first of what would turn out to be many bouts of food poisoning. The food poisoning, I ended up getting at least 3 more times between total from that October until March or April. Happened 3 or 4 times. It was always related to chicken wings. I didn't understand it until I started really thinking about a problem that's happening in the food industry right now. You may have noticed that a lot of restaurants have long wait times now for food. It's because, like anywhere else, a lot of people are not taking those jobs anymore. For whatever reason it is. We're not going to go into the politics of that here. But Buffalo Wild Wings and a lot of other places have had this problem. It's most notable, I think, at Buffalo Wild Wings, where you can order your food and it can take 45 minutes or to an hour for your food to come out. That's why we don't really go there anymore. When you have small children, they don't tend to be the most patient people. And if they are short-staffed, which they absolutely are, I've asked their manager once if they were short-staffed, and what can happen if you haven't worked in a kitchen, you may not understand this, but I have had jobs in a kitchen before, and kitchens are organized chaos when they're fully staffed. I don't even want to think about what they're like when they're not fully staffed. My point here is every restaurant that I've seen that isn't some tiny mom and pop place that's just completely family run are short-staffed. And what likely happened is that in the kind of mad rush to get the food order done, they handled my chicken wings with the same gloves they handled raw chicken wings with. Meaning they pulled them out of the fryer, were plating them up, and handled them in some way with contaminated gloves. Because the type of food poisoning I had was in every way similar to, or had all the symptoms of, chicken-related food poisoning. And the consequence, I think, of that 4 times in 6 months, right, was, besides the fact that I don't really go out much anymore to these kind of places, but the consequence of that was that my gut microbiome was just annihilated. That's the only thing I can think of. And it's the only thing that makes any sense. And this became apparent to me because over the course of 2023, I started having problems that I hadn't had before. I like to eat seafood periodically on a carnivore diet, about weekly actually, for a lot of reasons. And I couldn't do that anymore. I was starting getting indigestion, pretty bad indigestion. I just had seafood the other day and I still got indigestion. One of the things that started happening towards late 2023 was if I ate salmon, wild caught salmon, flash frozen salmon. I'm in Oklahoma. We're not going to catch any salmon. But fish that are like a lot of the wild caught flash frozen stuff, that portion in individual fillets, those are caught and processed and flash frozen like on a ship, right? So like some of the freshest fish you can get, other than the fact that it's frozen. But any kind of salmon that I would eat would go right through me so quickly that TMI warning for people here, but the solid waste was not solid and green. And if it's green like that, it's a sign that there's bile in your system. And why is there bile? Why are you passing bile? It's because your food went through your system so quickly that your body couldn't process it. Your body rejected what you ate. Once I realized that problem, I started looking up ways to heal the gut microbiome. And so this turned into basically trying to incorporate things that were just clearly not carnivore. There's some research that says certain kinds of fiber can have good gut health implications, things like asparagus and things like that. I started drinking kombucha, which I don't like. I mean, I don't find it repulsive. I just don't like the stuff. Started eating yogurt, as clean of yogurt as I could get. There simply is not whole fat or, organic, pasture-raised raw yogurt within 100 miles, within 1,000 miles probably of where I'm sitting. But I got the best I could. And it has had very little effect so far. So yeah, that's where I've been, dealing with a gut issue that is a consequence of essentially cross-contamination with chicken. Probably. I can't think of any other reason why my stomach is just so wrecked. Thankfully, it's not like, physical pains or anything, but it is what it is. I'm trying to lose the weight that I've gained. Nothing really budging. But we're going to keep on keeping on. So if you have questions, I'll try to check the comments here. I'm going to periodically give these sort of where have I been updates, fix my stomach updates, you lose the weight updates here periodically. I've also been very, very busy with my normal job. So, because things in that area, like I didn't even bother putting my flag up behind me, the carnivore flag. This is the flag I use for my other YouTube channel behind me. And I just been very busy with all that stuff. So, but I will try to keep things up to date here. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in the comments. Hit like and subscribe if you want to. That does help. And thanks for tuning in today, folks.